The longest intro ever.
You could be having a life on a Friday night. Instead, you're here with us now. Friday Night AMA with your host, Showtime George. Showtime George. Showtime George.
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from?
Showtime.
See, this is really cool about having admin powers. Like, I can just remove Mike from the show and it stops.
Showtime George.
I love it. Look at that. There it goes again.
Showtime George.
Oh, Mike, I hate you.
Showtime George.
Mike, honestly, you should have saved that for next week. That was epic. Definitely awesome. I know Jason thoroughly enjoyed this.
Absolutely.
So there's no doubt about it. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Oh, excuse me. I got all types of books going on here.
To add a few seconds to the intro, and that's what we kind of collectively came up with.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I really do. Eventually we will get the entire intro to last 1 hour. It's going to be amazing. We're just going to come in and be like, wait for the intro to be done. As soon as it's done, well, thank you, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the show. We're signing off now. So let's get this show started. So I want to welcome everybody to the Friday Night AMA SleeperWire presented by the AMA. We have no special guest this week. It is just myself, Jason, and Mike. We are special. We are guests. So I guess we are the special guest. Mike, how you doing?
We're all just guests here at the end of the day, right? I mean, I'm doing good. It's Friday night. We chilling. It's a good night. Been drinking my Crown and Coke. I got my microphone turned the right way now, so you can actually probably hear me.
I was getting ready to say, turn your mic around.
But no, doing great. How about you guys? How are we doing?
Dude, I'm doing good. A little tired. It's been a long week, but it's been a good week. Jason, how you doing?
I don't know how I want to get into it. I'm okay. I'm doing well. I came home to a surprise I wasn't thrilled with. I'm not going to get loud and obnoxious about it here on the show, but you ever have a tree you really like and you come home and it's been mangled?
Oh, the dog got old tree?
No, the wife's family got the hold of 2 trees in front of the yard, and
I thought you were talking about the Christmas tree.
No, I have a couple of trees out front that I really like, and she talked about trimming them, and I was cool with trimming them, and they went from 7-foot trees to 4-foot trees.
She trimmed them all right.
Yeah. So it's been quiet in my household the last 2 hours since I've been home.
I'll give you $20 right now if you go ask him to shave your pubes.
Mike, I'd have to have pubes.
Boom.
So
I keep my forest trimmed.
We're not sponsored by Manscaped though, Jason. We should be, but we're not.
We should be.
Yes, we definitely should be. So, Mike, I got a question for you. How's that little baby girl of yours doing?
Dude, she's doing great. Just barely over 1 month old. She thinks she knows what sleeping is now a little bit. So a little bit of normalcy returning back to life. It has been one heck of a month. But man, she's awesome. She's why I love waking up, going home, just all of that stuff, man. She's great. It's great.
Is she slipping through the night yet? Completely through the night?
Quite, not quite. We get about, till about 3:00 in the morning, which honestly works out pretty good for me because that's when I'm up anyways. And so I take care of her in the early morning, and then April gets to sleep, and then she lets me sleep from like 11 to 3, which is all I need anyway. So
yeah. No, I would say anybody who doesn't know Mike, he's not human. The man literally never sleeps, and that was happening long before the baby. He typically gets about a good 2 hours of sleep, and he's up and at it. I don't know how he does it. I would die, but he pulls it off. So.
Crystal meth, George. Lots of crystal meth.
Gotcha. So we got some comments going over here already. We got Hus jumping in saying, "Here we go." Yeah, he knew it was coming. Couple laughing emojis.
I shared that in a few chats earlier, saying, "What do you guys think of this?"
I'm sure that was going on. We got a couple messages from Oswaldo. I wanted to prop up on here. He said, "What's up, guys? Where y'all been? It's been a minute." So Oswaldo, we've been here. Like we were here last week. We were here the week before. Now, if you're talking about the Sunday Blitz or the Tuesday waiver show, the waiver show is done. Me and Mike are done doing the Tuesday show. At this point in the game, the playoffs are started for most leagues. You shouldn't be needing very much waiver help at this point. It's no point in us telling you to go out and pick up somebody who, like Ty Johnson, who had a great week last week, but Frank Gore's coming back. He's going to be irrelevant again this week. So you don't need us to go give you these obscure guys for the playoffs. So that's where we've been. Jason, I want to get to this next one. I want to thank you guys for all the help for SleeperWire for getting for first round bye and first place. That is absolutely fantastic as well, though. We are glad to hear not only did you get a first round bye, but you're also first place. And then you came up and said, yes, the Blitz show. So Jason, you and I both missed the Blitz show this past week. Would you like to tell the people why we were not able to be on the Blitz on Sunday?
Yeah, man, I'd love to talk about it a little bit. I even have a picture to pull up when I'm done talking here. But so a lot of you know, but some of you might not. George and I run a charity called BFGG Charities. When George and I started doing podcasts, so many years ago, we were just young babes. Neither one of us had pubes.
None. This was a baby face at one point.
So we started doing a Toys for Tots drive with our original podcast called Break from the Grind. And, the first year we raised, I think, $800. And in the second year we raised over like $1,500. Along the way, we came up with a plan to raffle off. We raffled off prizes first, but to buy prizes from Pristine Auction with our own money. Start fantasy football leagues with those prizes and charge people for them. And then 100% of the proceeds would go to a charity, would go to Toys for Tots. And every year, George and I take a weekend day and we take our money and we go buy these toys. It just so happened it was a Sunday this year because Target had a sale, $25 off 100 for toys. So we got to use this coupon over and over again. So George and I this weekend for our local Toys for Tots went and were able to spend $7,200 on toys. And let me see if did that come up? Yeah, there it is. So we bought we bought 18 bikes, 6 tricycles, 8 Razor scooters, an electric Razor scooter, something like 40 fishing poles, and a literal crap ton of toys.
That's not what I wanted to do. I want to try to make that the solo picture.
I don't know. I'm not sure like that.
There you go.
So, so that's what we ended up doing. That's where we were instead of the Blitz. Let's see. Did that pop up? I had to switch screens. So we rented a 15-foot U-Haul, and bought, we bought a bunch of toys. And so that's where we were this weekend, Oswaldo. And I love doing the Blitz, and I missed you all. I missed you all very, very much. but I had to give my time to some other kids instead of my my listener kids. So that's what we were doing Sunday.
Yeah. So in total, we sent $1,200, well, $1,250 to Fallon to buy Toys for Tots for the kids in Colorado. We sent $2,000 to Detroit for Shane to buy some kids toys up in Michigan, and then myself, Jason, and the other Jason took $7,200, and we bought toys here for our local community in Brevard County, Florida. And with that $7,200 and all the deals and discounts and everything else that we got from Target, we were able to actually purchase almost $10,000 worth of toys for our local community. Jason and I are big on charity. We through our work, we actually are sponsoring a family that is going to be in need for Christmas as well this year. So Jason and I are probably going to go shopping at some point this weekend if I can make it. I work tomorrow, so there's no guarantee that I'll be able to do any of the shopping this weekend. But you know, it's just a charity thing is all it is. We do it every year. We don't talk about it, in my opinion, nearly enough on the SleeperWire show. It's a much larger platform than Jason and I are used to having, to be honest. But, you know, we're not here to promote what we do through Break from the Grind on this platform. You know, SleeperWire is also a charity, so we tend to promote what they do for their charity work. Yep. So that's where we were. We wanted to be here this past Sunday. We had talked about possibly joining the Blitz live as we were actually at the Target shopping. By the time I was able to actually collect myself enough, take a deep breath, and then click on the link to join the chat, the show was already over. We had already missed the Blitz. So we were hoping to come in at the end while we were doing the shopping. We just missed it.
Yeah, no, it's it's hard to spend $7,000 in toys. It really is hard work, and so by the time
it's exhausting, like I was exhausted.
So by the time we got a lot of the toys and we went, oh shit, we wanted to call the Blitz. Like we looked down and it was already over. We missed it. So, but thank you for asking, checking on us. Thank you for I got DJ Please. So Al doing the thumbs up and the 100. Yeah, man. Charity's big, right? Like, and every time and
especially in a COVID year.
You guys are saying keep up the good work and thanks to us, but really it's thanks to all the people in our leagues, everybody that joined, everybody that donated, people that joined when I did the Thanksgiving prop bet challenge. We've got a playoff challenge coming up. We'll have a Super Bowl prop bet challenge for next year. You know, we got stuff we're going to roll right into next year so that next year's bigger than this year. And it's cool. It's nice to be able to say thank you guys, and it's nice to feel the love of for what we do. It's, making the Toys for Tots coordinator cry for a second year.
That's the goal every year, by the way, is to make her cry every year.
So you open up the truck door and she starts crying because she was worried about not having enough toys, and now she feels like she might have enough, and that's all great, but really it comes from the charity, the fact that we have such a great community here through SleeperWire, through Breaking the Grind, through just fantasy football in general, and everybody is so caring and loving and giving and
generous,
just generous. So again, thank you guys for being part of it, everybody who was, and I appreciate you giving us George, I appreciate you giving us a minute to talk about it. It was my favorite day of the year every year for sure. No matter what day we buy the toys. The other thing that's great is we've done it for 5 years now. So when I pull up Facebook this time of year, I get all the pictures from last year and the year before and in the last several years. And you can go back to like 5 years ago when we thought we were hot shit because we had $800. Three carts.
We got Neil from the Clock Dodgers podcast to drive up from West Palm Beach. Jason and I drove over to Orlando, and we met a guy over in Orlando, and we bought the toys in Orlando for the Orlando area Toys for Tots. We had $900. We thought we were hot shit driving around in my dad's pickup truck. It was good times, right? it's how it started. Like when we first started, that's all we did was beg. Like we just begged people for money. And then it grew, it snowballed, and it's turned into a great thing, not just for Jason and I, but for the local community. And especially this time of year, our local area community, they said that they had 500 families apply for Toys for Tots last year. This year they doubled that. They had 1,000, and they weren't sure if they were going to be able to support it all or not. Yeah, that's the first year. We had 3 carts. This year we had like 12 people, and everybody had a cart, and they had to fill it more than once. So it's just, it's our thing. It's kind of like what we do. We always have a good time doing it. So Al, I appreciate it very much. I'm glad that we have your permission to not be here just for this one time. Thank you. I can sleep well tonight.
I have to throw out that Mike was able to find some relatively okay backups for us.
Yes.
To cover while we were out. I said relatively okay though.
They were average. They weren't
average.
Big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill.
Well, I'm a big shirt to fill. I'm a fat guy. My shoes aren't that big.
I think Justin filled your shirt just fine though.
But man,
love you, Justin. If you're watching, I don't know if you're hard or not. Poor fat Justin. But Oswaldo, we're actually going to address Oswaldo's fantasy question here. He said he picked up. Yep, he said he picked up Cam Akers from the waiver wire. What do y'all think about starting weeks 15 through 16? Looking at the Rams' schedule, next week they have the Jets. Following weeks, the Seahawks, and God forbid you're in a league that goes to week 17. But if you do, they've got the Cardinals. He's a must start each and every week from this point forward.
Yeah, I want to know what league he's on the waivers.
He's not owned in a lot of leagues. He will be next week after getting 32 touches and 195 total yards. Excuse me. He will not be on waivers next week. I guarantee you. But this week he probably could be.
DJ Please says, shout out to Mike for keeping this shit going. #dirty.
Yeah. So Mike is literally the backbone of this show. This show does not happen without Mike. He is the glue that holds us together. We could not do any of this without him. So Mike, we do want to say thank you to you.
Well, I mean, listen, all you have to say, and I'll let Mike talk because I'm not, but all you have to know about Mike is he has a baby on Thursday and did a show Friday night.
Yep.
That's right.
That's true.
That is correct. Yeah, no, it's it's a passion. I love this stuff. You guys know how much I enjoy doing all this. It's not even like a task. It's an enjoyment. It's a thing that I get to do. So I enjoy doing it, man. It's fun.
So Al wants to know how Steve. Steve's recovering. He is going to survive. He's going to live. We were talking to him actually earlier today. He is much better than he used to be. I'm surprised he's not actually in the chat, but that's okay as well. Steve is doing good. Steve is doing good.
Steve's still getting winded doing the chat.
Yes. The COVID, it fucks with your lungs, right? And let's face it, Steve's a fat old guy, so not that I'm not a fat old guy, but I'm just saying.
You just don't have COVID.
Exactly. Yes, Dirty Jobs is the true OG. Again, he is the backbone of the show.
Shout out to Oswaldo though, man. It was he might even be one of the very few people that remember fantasy football by the fire when the blitz was just me sitting there talking to basically myself and Curtis, and I think maybe Oswaldo might have been there too. I know there wasn't very many people, but then that's when you guys got on and the blitz became what it is, which is this monster that it is today. I just love it, man. It's kind of fun, but Oswaldo's the day one, man. I love the guy. Love you.
I didn't, I back in the day, I didn't get to watch your original blitzes. I'm a little sad I missed the fireside chats.
Yeah, I kind of am too. I'm a little jealous at this point.
Yeah, I didn't even have questions to work with. I had like 2 sleeper questions, and I'd answer those, and then I'd just be like, "So here's what I think about this matchup, man." Like, and it was bad. It was not good radio. I'm imagining.
So to answer Oswaldo, to answer this question here, what's wrong with Steve? Steve had COVID. So we are he got the COVID, he got the vid, however you want to swing it. He got it. He like Dez, he caught it, but and then unfortunately for Dez, his was a false positive, so they just made so he couldn't play against the Cowboys. I still think that's a conspiracy theory, but that's just me. But Steve had COVID. It took a toll on him. But like I said, he's recovering. He's going to live. He's fine. He's basically over it at this point. It's just
we pulled some strings like the president. We got him some of that remdesivir. He got that antibody cocktail and he's back. And he's fine.
Yeah.
None of that's true. Other than the fact that he's fine, none of that's true.
Yeah, Steve is. To be honest, though, Steve is fine. Like he's recovered. He's fine. I know I gave him a hard time. He got it a lot worse than I thought he did originally, and I kept making jokes about how he was going to die and all that. And some of it I don't feel bad about, but you know how that goes. Jason, I believe you had a little something that for homework that you were supposed to do. Were you able to do that, or did the trees just distract you?
The trees did distract me. I thought about reading my story as one of these stories, but no.
Oh, you should have done that. That would have been epic.
So I have 4 of them. We can do as many or as little as you want, but I have a smattering of "Am I the Asshole?" And these are stories from Reddit that people ask. They post their stories. They ask if they're the asshole. I usually like to find ones that are gray area, borderline. Some are these are not that. Most of these are pretty much the guy's an asshole, or the girl. So let me jump right into this. And the first one is, I was on the 4th one. Let's get back up to the first one. Would I be an asshole for returning my husband's Christmas present after he snooped, opened it, and started using it? So as a startup, just as a startup, I would like to say he literally went digging to find the gift. I hid it in our attic in a tote of summer clothes, which he never gets into. He steps foot in that attic because he never steps in the foot of that attic because he's terrified of spiders. It might be George. So anyways,
I am fucking terrified of spiders.
My husband has been saying for months the thing he wanted for Christmas was a VR headset. He's wanted one since they came out, and it's been a while, and he's been obsessed with these rigs. So when I found the one he wanted on Black Friday for $200 less than the original asking price, I immediately bought it. When I got home with the gift, he was in the garage, so I quickly ran the item to the attic and hid it. The item was still in the box, in the bag, with the receipt, not wrapped. When I was in the attic, my husband came inside and yelled upstairs and asked what I was doing, and I told him I was sifting through some stuff to see if I had any extra snow pants. Basically she was lying just so she could say she hid the gift. So he didn't question it at that point. However, he must have felt something was up because when I left for work the next day, he must have found the gift when he went snooping. I came home early due to them scheduling too many people, and when I returned, I found him in our living room with the VR all set up and him playing some game. Meaning he went through the entire setup process, downloaded the games already. I was so pissed. Not only did he ruin the surprise, but I didn't get to see his fucking face light up when he opened it, which is the thing I was looking forward to the most. As soon as he heard me clear my throat, he ripped off the headset and something like, "Oh, you're home early. I found this and wanted to test it out before you gave it to whoever you bought it for." Now, I have to admit, I immediately started to cry, and that was a bit over the top excessive. I just was extremely bummed out. I spent a lot of money, and I was so excited to see his face when he opened it. I walked out, I got in my car, and I went to the local park to sit by myself for a minute to just relax. He texted me and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't know it was for me. You know how long I've wanted one of these, so I truly just wanted to test it out." And then he says, "But no offense, you're acting like you came home and saw me with another woman." and I didn't respond to him. Would I be the asshole for returning the gift because he snooped, opened it, and ruined the surprise for me?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
Dude fucked up. I think he shouldn't have done that. Like, for real. Like, you're a grown ass man. Do you really go snooping for gifts? Like what is this? You do this, George?
I do.
Oh, listen. Okay, so there's two things.
I absolutely do.
On the other hand, what the fuck is it all about? Like, I wanted to see the look on. What is that all about? Oh, like the is that like I would just do that for? I'd be like, oh, hold on. Like, I mean, what are you really looking for here?
So she got that because she wanted to get him something she knew he would absolutely love, right? Or something that he really wanted, right? So how else can you show it's something you truly wanted or you truly liked by not even waiting until Christmas to use it, right? Like, I'm so excited. I have to set it up, download the games, and start playing it right now. That's how excited I am about that. Do you know when was the last time you got something for Christmas that you were so excited about that you stopped everything you were doing to go set it up and download something or take extra steps to use it right then and there?
If I had got my headset, because I already bought VR, but if I had got my headset on Christmas Day, everything else would have stopped till I played with that thing. For real.
Okay, but you know what? You got it beforehand, and you were excited, and you stopped everything that day to go get it. So did he. He just didn't want to wait till Christmas. There's nothing wrong with that.
I disagree, man. Like I understand being bummed she didn't get to see him open it. Like she went overboard by crying and being that upset, but I might have so he said, I thought you bought it for someone else. I might have gone, well, I did. Let me take it to them.
Yeah, he knew it was for him.
He's playing dumb, so fuck
exactly.
that. Until he at least admits that shit's going back.
Yeah, she really played into that thing. Like, oh, did it work? Like, cool. I can't wait for Uncle Frank to get it then.
Right, exactly.
He knew it was for him. I see no issue with it. Like, does it suck? Like, she's a little disappointed she didn't get to see the look in his face. That's it. You're going to get to see the look of joy and happiness in his face every time he goes to use it. That's what matters.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. I think he's the asshole, and but she's kind of being a little sensitive.
A little bit. I mean, I get it. I understand it.
I mean, and I get your point too, Mike. Like, what is this? Are you a kid? You got to snoop for your presents? Like, Christmas is a couple weeks away. Just wait.
Just chill for 2 weeks, man. You don't have it now. What's 2 more weeks?
He did have it now. He just didn't know it till he came across it.
Right, and I mean, but you don't just accidentally come across it. Like if you're up there hunting for it, you're a 2-year-old kid. Come on. For Christ's sake.
Listen, I ain't even going to play. There are times I am literally snooping around looking because I need some clean socks, and I know damn well I'm getting socks for Christmas.
Hey, we're not going to brush over this thing right here, though, dude. Oswaldo says he feels you on the conspiracy. He's been working I've been working since day one of COVID, too. And I don't think it was October, but for sure December, I feel like I knew people with COVID. For sure. If wants to talk conspiracies, hit me up on Twitter because I love that shit. It's fun.
I had 2 people that work for me, like as sick as I've seen 2 people in my life, and then I got sick in December right afterward.
You muted yourself halfway through that sentence, Jason.
Yep.
You still muted yourself, Jason.
Just let him tell the story on mute, and then we'll be like, yes, Jason, that was a great story.
Oh, now he's just like completely not talking.
Did you unplug your mic? What are you doing, Jason?
He's rapping. I feel like he might just be messing with us, but then I'm not positive.
I don't think he is. I think he's telling a hell of a story, and none of us get to hear it.
Right. This is the most epic story in the history of man.
Yeah. So back to, I'm just going to ignore everything Jason has to say until he actually has a voice. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Mike. Jason and I have been working the whole time with since COVID started. I know some people who've got it. I know we had a couple people who at work, they tested, they came back positive. They went, took a second test, it came back negative. Like, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I believe COVID's out there. I believe it's dangerous, but I also believe, yeah, it's probably been in the United States a lot longer than we even know.
Right. Jason, do we get your voice back?
Nope.
Nope.
No voice, Jason.
Jason is the voice of the voiceless.
No, he is just the voiceless. he can't be the voice of the voiceless if we don't have a voice for him. So.
Yeah, should take my card.
And he's gone again. He was having internet issues earlier. I'm not sure that really had any effect on his microphone.
Yeah, I feel like he just unplugged something there.
Yeah.
Maybe it was COVID conspiracy. We said COVID conspiracy and they took Jason out.
That honestly could have happened.
It could have happened. Jason just got governmented.
Yep. So I do want to talk a little bit about our schedule for the Friday nights AMAs going forward. We are going to have a show next week. Next week will be the last show for the next 2 weeks. I cannot put out a show on the 25th, being that is Christmas Day. And then the following day is New Year's Day, so I can't put a show out on New Year's Day either. So after that, we're gonna we're not gonna have another show until the 8th of January after next week. So we're gonna take the next couple Friday nights off. I'm working on a show for the 8th. I've got some things planned that I really want to do, and then I'm thinking, Mike, if you're okay with it, I think we might go every other week for the AMA. During the off season.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I think I got this shit figured out.
You're back.
Oh, damn it, George. Damn it. I was going to say, man, I still see your lips moving. I don't hear anything.
I missed that one. That's my fault. That's my fault, Mike. I should have got that one. That was a hanging curveball right over the plate, and I swung and whiffed.
We could have got this guy to disconnect and reconnect like 5 more times, I bet.
I'd just gone home. I would have just shut the thing down and said, you know what? It's not my Friday.
It's the damn trees, Jason.
That's what it is. All right. So my next, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for leaving my husband in the grocery store? We all go through, so we I don't so after you hear this one, I think your answer is going to be no. So we all go through phases and pick up annoying habits. Sometimes we just need our loved ones to just gently tell us when we've picked up a particularly egregious habit. Sometime in the last year, my husband has picked up a habit where he talks like a baby. At first it was funny, but it passed into embarrassing and then cringeworthy behavior. Examples, he says doggo, pupper, woofer, subwoofer, pibble, hootie boy, peepo, burb, meow meow, Sammy, sandwiches, Sammy whammy, chicky nuggy, chicky tendy, and other toddler-esque stuff with a lisp to his words. The stuff that really gets me are the gross childish use of euphemisms for genitalia or sex. I cannot emphasize this enough. It is not endearing or sexy to have my husband talk about my boobies, his wiener, his wee-wee, his weenie, some hoo-has, or bajingos. We have not had sex in 6 months because he cannot stop talking about my boobies, and it makes me sick. Just before the pandemic hit, we were out at a restaurant with some friends. He actually ordered a Chicky Sammy, just like that exact phrase, Chicky Sammy. And look, I'm totally fine with that he ordered a chicken sandwich. That's not the issue. Our friends noticed the baby talk because he insisted on continuing the joke and even started talking with this god-awful toddler lisp or accent. After that, I just couldn't stomach the idea of going out with him to adult places. I'd go out to the brewery with friends, and God forbid he join me and say, me wanty another beer or something. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why he's doing this. And it finally hit my limit when we went to the grocery store and everything seemed normal and fine until he gasped like a kid, ran over to the ice cream section, jumped up and down and started yelling, ice cream, I want chocolate. I was mortified. People were staring at him and me. He just kept saying, can we get popsicles? And I just said, either you talk to me like an adult or I'm leaving. He started saying, ooh, you must be fun at parties. Lighten up, will you? And just like that, I said, fuck it, and I left the store, leaving him to walk home. Since then, things have been very tense, and he keeps telling me he wants an apology for embarrassing him by leaving him at the store. And I told him, you don't get to demand apologies. If you want someone to apologize, it's up to them to actually be sorry. And he said, I was just trying to save myself for the embarrassment of a 35-year-old man with a mortgage and a retirement account saying chocolate ice cream. So guys, is she an asshole for leaving him there?
Yes.
She's an asshole for not leaving him, period. Like, I mean, like, this man needs to not have a wife. This man needs to be, I mean, did he get kicked by a horse? Has anybody checked this guy out anytime recently? Did he have a head injury? Like, do you figure maybe she's had this conversation with him? Like, hey.
So there were some questions and answers. I took these on these because it, just as so some of the questions and answers are, I've talked to him multiple times, especially about the sexual comments. I've made it extremely abundantly clear that him using terms like boobies and wee-wee are absolutely repulsive to me, among other things he says. Info, does he have a job? Yes, and he acts completely normal at his job. He worked from home for a while during the lockdown. I never heard him talk like that to anyone he worked with. Does he do it with friends? Sometimes, and it's generally meant to annoy them or gross them out, but he stops, and then he stops. He has friends where they think it's cute to embarrass each other. Is this a kink or a fetish? She says, if so, I am absolutely done. Has he seen a doctor? She says no, but I've asked him if he needs to talk to a therapist because he was acting strange. He accused me of being stuck up and judgmental. Given that he doesn't act like this with his coworkers or his family, and he only jokes around like this with his friends, I'm willing to bet that it's an indication that he's trying to force his fetish on me non-consensually or trying to get me to leave. That's a little weird to jump to that. Maybe he's just being shitty. Is it a tumor? I don't know. Like I said above, I've asked him to see someone. I can't force him to, even if I just want to find out that he's not having an issue that we can solve. But after this post closes, I'm going to try and get him to see the doctor again. Does he have childhood trauma? As far as I know, he doesn't. I'm relatively close to his family and would likely know. The most traumatic thing that he's had was a minor car accident when he was around 13 years old. No injuries, no death, etc. He hasn't been in a car accident in the past 2 years or anything like that. And neither have I. And as far as I know, no one else in his family has been. And then, so that it goes on from there. But yeah.
This guy either I like he wants her to leave is the conclusion I was actually thinking of in my head, is like, maybe she's like a real bitch to come home to and everything like that. And he just doesn't have the testicular fortitude to say, okay, I'm done with this. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to talk like a baby till this bitch leaves me. Like,
I mean, man,
brilliant genius.
Man up and just leave at that point.
Weave.
Wan up and weave. We want a chicky sandwich.
Go ahead and weavy.
Yeah.
Take your boobies and go.
So I think she's wrong for leaving him in the store. And here's why. Why. They're married, right?
Yep.
So she took a vow through sickness and in health till death do they part.
Yep.
For better or worse. Those were the vows she took. Nobody forced those vows upon her. She chose to do that on her own.
Yeah, you take out of that grocery store and you take him home.
Therefore, she needs to woman up and live with the vows that she took.
She didn't leave them.
And but she's not standing by her man through sickness and health.
Oh, she stood by him.
No, she didn't. She left his ass at the grocery store.
Completely removed.
Can I make a bad joke?
Yeah.
Nope.
She went wee all the way home.
That's nice. But no, like she took these vows through sickness and in health till death do they part. She should not have left him. Absolutely not.
I completely did. So here's the thing: death do you part, sickness and health. That doesn't mean you have to put up with the other person's
He
bullshit.
could be having some sort of a mental breakdown.
She's been doing it.
Doesn't know that because she's not a doctor and he hasn't been seeing a doctor.
But she's talked to him multiple times at home.
It may come in and out just like Tourette's.
Over like the last 6 months, she talked to him multiple times. Leave his ass there. Maybe he fixes it. And then you know what? Don't divorce him, but stick around and see if he can get some help and be the man that you fell in love with. But you know what? That doesn't mean you get to stick around in a grocery store while he's throwing a 2-year-old temper tantrum from some chocolate pudding pops.
Make him put his money where his mouth is and shit in a diaper. Be like, all right, man. Like
Jason, you're throwing a fit right now over a couple trees in the front yard, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't want to hear anything from you talk about throwing a fit over some pudding pops. Like I feel like if anything, I'm throwing a fit over pudding pops over trees.
I argued like an adult that somebody shouldn't have cut down some trees without asking the person who likes them. Instead of saying, I want my tweez, my tweez.
You're acting like a child, just in a different manner.
I'm acting like an adult.
The mannerisms are different. You're throwing a temper tantrum over some trees. He's throwing a temper tantrum over. Yes, Justin, you're hooked. You're throwing a temper tantrum over some pudding pops.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on to the next one. So minimal impact. Justin knows what he's getting himself into.
To wash my brain out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of weird though. I'm just saying.
It is. No, it's
very weird.
Kinda is not the right descriptor. All right. So
Hey, Mike, I removed Jason so he can't hear this. Okay, I'm gonna start talking like a little baby at work now. Every time I get around him.
Yes. I love it.
I can.
Hey, Jason, how you doing? Hey, Jason, how you doing? Hey, buddy. Hey, friend.
Nice wee.
Thank you. And yes, I know you can hear as I sent you back to the green room.
All right. The next one is: am I the asshole for refusing to return a computer I bought after the store called me and told me I paid the wrong price for it?
No. I'm just you don't have to read it. If you paid the wrong price for the computer and you paid less than what it actually is, that's on the store's fault. I don't even need you to tell me anything else.
Well, yeah, I know this one. So last week I went to the local pawn shop to sell some stuff. While I was there, I was window shopping and saw a computer they had for $89. I only use a computer for YouTube or websites, and my laptop is pretty old, so I tested the computer. Everything worked, so I bought it. The next day, I got a call from the pawn shop manager. He was very rude from the start and told me the computer was labeled incorrectly, and then told me he didn't ask. He rudely ordered me to come into the store that day and either A, return the computer, or B, pay the difference. I asked what the difference was, and he said $800. I guess it was supposed to be labeled $899. I said, I'd think about it, and he said if I wasn't in by the end of the day, he'd just charge my card that amount. I told him he can't do that, and he said to bring it in, or I'll pay the difference, or he's going to ban me from the store and call the police for theft. I said I'd think about it again, and he was just mad because the last thing he said to me was, "Listen, bitch, either bring it in or go to jail. Your choice. You decide."
I'm thinking. I went to the pawn shop. They told me the computer was $99. I paid $99. I have my receipt that says I paid for it. You can suck it. I'm not returning shit.
And that's you know what? If the guy had been decent from the start,
I don't care if he was
I probably still wouldn't have returned that shit.
No, absolutely not.
But
I would consider it.
Yeah, but I at least would have felt bad about myself.
You come at me like that, though, I'm going to call you an asshole, and I'm going to keep your shit and laugh about it.
And then when you charge my card, I'm gonna sue you for fraud.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Like I said, you didn't even need to go any further. That was an open and shut case.
Well, and I thought it was interesting. I didn't think it would be that hard. This one is just for us, George, because it's am I the asshole for throwing away a whole pot of chili out of spite?
Out of spite. Oh, I'm listening to this one. Go for it.
All right. I'm extremely sensitive to the taste of salt. Nothing will happen to me health wise if I eat a bunch of it. I just can't stand the taste of it, and extra salted food isn't edible to me. My boyfriend, on the other hand, is a salt fiend. He adds extra salt to everything, which is fine. Everybody has their own taste palette, and I don't care what he does with his own food. Yesterday, I got up and decided to do chili in the crock pot. 5 p.m. rolls around, chili's done. We bowl it up for dinner. I'm not very hungry, so I just make a tiny bowl and go with the plan to come back for some later. I made 10 quarts with the idea of leftovers for at least a couple of days. I go back a few hours later, make another small bowl, and I shrivel up into a raisin, taking the first bite. He didn't just salt his bowl, he salted the entire pot. Now, I'm aware that 99% of the population would probably have not had an issue with the amount of salt, and they would have had to season their bowl. I expect people, when they have someone over and I tell them I don't use much salt, I expect them to salt their own plate. And direct them directly to the shaker because I know that I don't use a lot of salt. But this isn't the first time he's done this, and we've talked about it before. He swears he won't do it again. There's a 50-50 chance next time we eat, he'll salt the main dish before putting it on his plate instead of just salting what's on his plate. It ruins the leftovers for me, which pisses me off because I'm the sole buyer of groceries and I usually cook in bulk. I didn't say anything. I just dumped my bowl. I was pissed and feeling disrespected. And in the heat of the moment, I dumped the rest of the pot. My thought process was, if I can't either eat it, neither can he. He has a habit of getting up at 1 a.m. and digging for leftovers. So like clockwork, he goes downstairs, digs into the fridge, then stomps back up to our room and says, where the fuck is the chili? I told him I threw it out because it was ineditable, and he lost it about wasting food. It seems like such a dumb thing to fight over, and now that I've thought about it, I wonder if I did overreact. I'm still pissed, but it does feel pretty wasteful. I vented in my group chat, and it's been a mix of your food, your choice, and it's just salt and get over it. Am I the asshole for throwing away food out of pure spite?
Yes.
A lot of these people need to just go visit divorce lawyers and go make their life better. Like, fuck, man, if this is what's getting you off on the fucking daily, like if this is what you got to do to get through from fucking Monday through Friday, go see a divorce lawyer. Life can be a lot better. If you're a person that's hearing this right now and you're in a miserable life that you're like sitting there going, I think he uses too much salt and he put too much salt. Like, dude, I'm telling you, this isn't the only issue. This guy's going to stop using salt. You're going to say, this guy uses too much vinegar. This guy uses way too much. I mean, you're just going to go on to the next thing. You probably just hate each other. At the end of the day, that's what's wrong here. You hate each other.
Correct. Yeah, she's dead wrong for dumping out the chili.
Yeah.
He's dead. I think he's wrong for salting the whole pot, though.
You never do that, dude. That's just an asshole move right there. You never cater the taste to one of your individuals to the whole thing. That's just crazy talk.
So I'm going to go with they're both wrong.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
he shouldn't have salted the entire pot of chili, right? Like, so I don't salt any of my food. My wife knows that. My mother-in-law knows that. Like, I don't put salt on anything. So whatever they cook, if they cook it with salt, that's the only salt I'm getting on my food because I will not salt it. I'll use pepper, won't use salt.
That's crazy. I'm the same exact way, George. Same exact way.
Yep.
I'm with you. I don't if I want salt, I want it to be in there while it's cooking.
Yeah.
Not after.
So I can relate to her being pissed about the entire pot of chili being salted. But at the same time, like, she shouldn't have dumped all that chili out. Like, that is a huge waste. There are literally people out there starving, and she's out here taking a whole pot of chili and dumping it out. Like, come on, man. Just grow up.
But you know what that is, though, right? That's him going, I don't want anybody else to have any of this because she's not going to eat it once I do this. It's all mine now. Right? Like, if you're, and I think Mike's exactly right. Like, those two just need to get separated because, like, he's got to be doing it out of spite. Like, how do you live with someone Well, no, I mean, you do it once out of ignorance. You do it twice because you screw up. But if you do it multiple times, it's because you're a dick and you don't really care about the other person, right? Like,
no, I mean, okay. So if you're doing it every night, yes. But if it happens, once a month, like I'm not going to say if something happens once a month, he's doing it out of spite or to be a dick or anything like that. Like,
well, she obviously prepared it in a way that she would want to eat it, right? And he watched her eat some of it.
it's not all about her, Jason.
It is kind of about her a little bit.
It's not.
Like,
It's not. It's not about her.
It's a spiteful couple, Al. They're both just hating each other. They hate each other. End of story. They hate
no,
each other.
you're right, but like,
I agree with Mike. They're probably miserable together.
Yeah.
They're both wrong in this scenario. And,
He probably goes to the grocery stores and talk like a baby.
yeah, if they went to the grocery store and talked like a baby, like there'd be no issue. I
he'd be totally
Salty Walty. You want that Salty Walty?
You want that salty walty chewy wee? I'm gonna leave your chili ass in the garbage. Yes, I am. I'm gonna weave that chili willy ass in the garbage. Yes, I am.
I feel like I have a plethora of salt intake jokes right here that I just probably shouldn't tell on a SleeperWire sponsored show. But I may need to be a special guest on Break from the Grind here soon because these are some humdingers.
Yeah, matter of fact, we are actually going to bring BFTG back over the summer.
Oh, the off season,
yeah, or the off season, not over summer. Excuse me. This is kind of like a break from the grind. So, Jason and I were talking about break from the grind earlier. This is the AMA. Honestly, is a much more toned down break from the grind. When we do break from the grind, we'll do it on our channels, and literally anything goes. Like there's no rules, there's no censorship. You don't have to worry about pissing off a sponsor because, to be honest, like unless you're paying us, we're not sponsored. So, by the way, you can sponsor us for $5. By the way, break from the grind, you can.
Anything you want us to say, we'll say it.
Exactly.
Apparently, George will even say. I won't even say what word George will say for $5.
Oh, don't start that. I will get fucking enraged again. don't. You know, Jason, don't even start that shit.
George will say the racist.
$5 a month, you will say, like, and this is Break from the Grind, sponsored by Dirty Jobs, has the baddest ass, craziest, best balls in the world.
Oh, yeah, we'll say that.
Yes. Okay, I got $5 on that. I am officially a sponsor of Break from the Grind.
I mean, for free, George says stuff like women shouldn't play in fantasy football. So imagine what he'll do for $5.
He did say that. I mean, I was there, Jason.
That is not what I said.
That's kind of what you said.
We should go back and check the video. I believe you're wrong.
Okay, Mike, you got homework now. Next week, I want a clip of what George actually said that week.
I want the whole clip, Mike. I want the whole clip, not just an edited section.
Oh, that's really taking away my ability as a producer.
I made no promise. Listen, nobody gave you final cut, George.
That's fine.
Like I could almost probably have enough audio on all of us to make any one of us be able to say really anything I wanted us to say outside of real gnarly stuff.
There was a review that we got where George took $5 to say something he shouldn't have said.
I did not say that, Jason. Stop.
I know you didn't, but for $5 you might.
No, I would not. I would not.
Listen, on Break from the Grind, you get to hear it all. We say the hoo-ha, the wee-wees, the titas, the hoo-ha. Yeah.
Let's get this track back on this train back on the track. We have
back on the train.
Yes, let's get this track back on the train, or the train back on the track, or let's get the race car back on the asphalt. We're all over the place here. This is what happens when we don't have a guest, and we haven't been around each other in about 2 weeks, so we're just kind of spitballing. And do you have one more of those, Jason, or was that it?
I think that was 4, wasn't it? It felt like longer.
Listen, I can't get past the baby talking one, to be honest.
I know that one was my favorite one. There was one I picked that was about somebody using some false valor. But that one was, Stolen valor. Sorry, lost valor. Ugh,
Ooh, I
wrong
kind of
night.
want to hear that one. Let's do that one real quick.
I have to go find that one. Give me, fill in some with some kissy sounds or something, and I'll go dig it up.
So, that was nice. This one immediately this one goes up. Full. I'll ask the question, Mike. I'll throw it to you. Full PPR. Start wee or salted chili.
Dude, you know I'm starting salted chili all day long. It's got to be the salted chili.
See, I think you start wee. Like wee for some reason I feel like he's going to start slow, but as the game goes on, he's going to expand.
He's going to take it all the way home.
I think he's going to bring it all the way home. He'll explode by the end of the game. Like I don't know. I feel like you got to start wee there.
You got to start the wee somewhere, right?
Somebody's going to start him, and after all, it's full PPR.
Well, and that guy's wife is definitely not starting the wee with him saying wee.
No, she's not.
No.
Hey Bob, what's going on, brother? Bob's watching, joining us as he does every week, and we appreciate Bob as always.
That's one love, Bob.
You know what sucks is I can't find that one now. Basically, it boils down to well, I'll just go ahead and give you the gist of it because I remember it pretty well.
Yeah,
I just didn't. I had 4 already. So basically, this guy's cousin, she was getting married to another dude that said he was a SEAL, and this guy wasn't a SEAL, but he trained. I don't know exactly what he was in, but he said basically their training was similar to SEALs, and he was one of the guys that get the SEALs to where they go. I don't know if some kind of boat. He got him on boats and stuff like that. So he said he knew enough SEALs to know that this guy was full of shit. So he was able to find out through some friends of his in the service that the guy had never served. And instead of just like telling the family and the cousin and like presenting the evidence there, he sent an email with all this information to all 400 guests at the wedding.
Awesome.
To call this guy out.
I see no problem with it at all.
Here's the problem I have. It's not that this dude called the fake SEAL out. That's fine. How embarrassing is it for the cousin who was just being duped like everybody else? Like, I think that's where the asshole comes in. Like, I think he should have done it in private. And then if she wanted to blow up the spot, if she wanted to put him on, if she wanted to put this dude on blast, fine. But I don't know that you go out and you email 400 people that were supposed to go to their wedding, and most of them her friends, like to say, hey, listen, she got duped by this lying asshole here for everybody to see.
I feel like I maybe sit there and have a conversation with just the dude, right? Like, look, man, I'm going to put your shit on blast if you don't come clean. Like, clean. And I mean, because you can't imagine that that's the reason why these two are getting married, right? Like, it's like, this shouldn't be the deal breaker if this guy, I mean, the fact that he is a Navy SEAL should be irrelevant to the situation, right? Like, he's not saving her life. He's not blowing shit up. He's not doing Navy SEAL-esque duties. So it should be easy enough to separate the two. Be like, look, dude, I came at you at the very beginning with a lie that I just can't back up. I mean, you should be able to walk away from that if this is presented the right way.
It's tough though, because like, can you trust him again after carrying that lie forward for as long as...
Dude, I will say anything to get in your pants in the first date. Like, maybe not now so much, but 18-year-old to 21-year-old me, forget about it, dude. I'll tell you, I was freaking the president of Kenya, if you'll believe it, Like, and now if we start dating more and more, and if I'm going to put a rock on your finger, I might admit to you I'm not the president of Kenya anymore. But right? I mean, that's tough matzo ball to swallow too. Like, I don't want to admit to her, like, so that's a big extreme what I just said. The Navy SEAL thing, if it's believable enough, and it's probably not even brought up very often, right? Like, but I mean, if she's out there going, "Oh, he's a Navy SEAL. Oh, he's a Navy SEAL," it might be a time to go, "Hey, I'm not really a fucking Navy SEAL. I'm sorry, I duped you." Like, to me, I don't know. You shouldn't pretend you're in the military, because that is pretty sacred ground that you're stepping on there as well. So it's tough for me, but I get it. I understand it, dude. Dudes are stupid. We will do some stupid stuff to try to get what we are trying to get. We're dumb. We're animals. We're really animals at the end of the day.
You're right. I mean, listen,
So-
I've told some stories to get in some pants, but I never
Dude,
was like, hey, I was in the military.
Yep. George,
So-
you're in the military.
I mean, George is still pretending he was in the military.
Yes, still pretending. Absolutely.
That was 100% because Mike was taking a drink and I wanted to watch him spit it all over his microphone.
That was close, man. I almost got my camera because I know how passionate and proud George is to be in the military, and I really, really, honest to God, love that about the guy. And so even like then, when you're joking, look at the look on this man's face. He's like, "My Marine self is going to kick your fucking ass."
No,
Like,
so here's the thing, George and I have an understanding that he knows that I absolutely 100% appreciate all of his service. So when I say he was a bus driver in the Marines,
Cheers, George.
when I say he was just a bus driver, he knows that I love him and I'm joking, and that we have a friendly we have enough of a relationship that he knows that I'm just fucking with him.
Well, one love, George. I appreciate your service as well. But how do you feel about this, the military, man?
So you're coming at it from a civilian perspective, Mike. And what you've missed completely is the guy that sold him out was actually in the military. The one thing that you're also missing is people in the military despise it's right up there with pedophiles as far as people who say they served in the military but actually didn't. Because every person who signs up for the military and serves is literally willing to put their life on the line for this country, and there's no greater sacrifice. And now you got somebody coming along saying, "Oh yeah, I made that same sacrifice," when you know what? Fuck you. No, you didn't.
Yeah,
so
get that, dude.
It's a totally different perspective. I'm absolutely thrilled to death that he emailed 400 people. I don't care how she feels. The fact that he got embarrassed that bad gave me a Woody. And if he's willing to lie about that, which is, listen, it's a federal misdemeanor. It's not a state or local misdemeanor. Literally stolen valor is a federal misdemeanor. You can go to prison for it for 6 months. So if he's willing to lie, if he's willing to lie about that, then what else, like Jason kind of mentioned earlier, what else is he willing to lie about? Like, I understand, being 18, saying I'll say anything to get into your pants and whatnot. That's understandable. We've all been there.
Including I was in the military. I'll tell you, I fucking jumped out of helicopters and killed freaking Osama bin Laden if I thought that's what it took to get it.
To carry that life forward for so long.
Yes, that's where he fucked up. I agree with that all day long. Yep, I'll give you that all day long.
So no, the guy who sent the email is not the asshole. The guy who did the lying is the asshole, and I hope he rots in hell.
Fair enough.
I did want to get this one
asking the tough questions.
Bob coming in with literally the difficult questions, and for me, honestly, it's not that difficult. But spinach dip, queso, salsa. You can only choose one, and you can never have the others again.
How is that difficult?
It's not. So it's easy. I can't tell you the last time I had spinach dip, so you can get rid of spinach dip. Just get rid of it. It's disgusting.
I'm not going to lie when I say I've had all three of these this week.
I have not had all three of these this week. I've had two of the three this week. I've had queso. I've had salsa. For me, this is easy. I like cheese. Give me the queso.
You can only choose one. Yeah, I'm keeping queso.
God, I love spinach dip, dude. Like, especially a good spinach artichoke dip. Like, damn, that shit's tough to beat with some Gouda. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take the queso because queso is like the mix between the two. because it's just what, cheese and salsa? Isn't that all queso is at the end of the day?
Kind of, yeah. So I thought, honestly, when I first read it, I thought which one, like if you had to get rid of one, and then I thought, okay, that's tough because I like all three of them. But yeah, if I have to keep one, queso's the easiest answer of the group.
Yep.
By the way, white queso or orange queso? Because I like white queso.
I like both. It doesn't matter. It's cheese.
I like both, but I prefer orange.
It doesn't matter to me. It's
I
queso.
prefer mine with a lot of fire too. I'm Dirty Job's the guy who likes his shit hot.
Yep.
Yes.
It's got to be hot. You got to get it hot. It's like a grill. Just get it hot.
Like if my neighbor isn't sweating, it's not hot enough.
Nice.
Al jumping in here. He got a homie told this girl his name was Jerusalem, but never in the military. Hey, listen, I'll drink to Jerusalem. That's a good one.
I used to have a fake name when I was about 19 to 22. And I also used to have like a buddy's house that he'd let me use so I didn't have to take girls back to my house because I had I don't know what it was. Okay, this is going to probably shock you guys, but I've been with a lot of crazy ass women, like really.
No.
Floored.
Right. So it was safe for me to never let them know what my address was. And so like we took precautions to change names. But crazy women, they're good. They're good if they don't know who you are.
Yeah, it's okay to stick your dick in crazy if they can't follow you home.
Amen to that. I feel like it was really close to Bob Gilchrist too. I can't remember the name I used, and I'm not even joking. Like it was very close to something like that, like Bob Gilkey or something like that. It was very, very close to that name.
You gave the name Bob Gilchrist, didn't you? You can say you didn't. It's okay.
You know what's funny about that? That's where all those paternity requests to Bob have been coming from.
So we got a comment here. Mike's from Wyoming. His address was the third cave on the left.
It was actually the fifth cave on the left. The third cave on the left will get to the Jeffersons.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh shit. All right, so we hit over an hour. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. I've got to work in the morning, so I am going to bed right as soon as we're done with this. I'll be there Sunday though. I got to work Saturday, but I'll be on the Blitz Sunday morning. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Can't wait.
He's gonna finally grace us with his presence again.
I am. I turned into a part-timer at the end of the year. It's 100% work's fault. Like between the Toys for Tots and work, yeah, part-time George.
Time George.
Anyway, he was talking too much. So what I want to do is close this out. I'm going to say for BFTG Pod,
George.
30 jobs for BFTG Pods for BFTG Jason. I want to say have a good nighty whitey. Thank you for watching our showy woey, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.
Oh, hey, hold on. Before we go off, hold on. I actually meant to do this in the show, and I do apologize.
Oh, that's the perfect ending winding.
The ending one. No, Al sent us a question, and I wanted to go over it on the show, so I purposely ignored it all the way up to this point, and then he reminded me. So,
way to bring the show down, George.
Yeah, he needs help before Friday and Sunday. Is Woods starting? Yes, Woods is starting. I'm gonna predict he's gonna have like 5 catches for like 32 yards, 33 yards, or something like that.
Yeah, don't start him.
So I probably wouldn't start him.
Don't start him last night. Start Cam Akers. Yeah,
if you got Cam Akers, what you do on your bench, I would recommend starting him, Al. And then, other than that, I kind of like your lineup. Switch Corey Davis and Woods, and then put Woods.
You know, we can do this later. Mike, why don't you take us out?
We got you with a little more of the Showtime George action.
There you go. Let's do the Cotton Eye George.
George.
Showtime George. I don't know where we go from here, guys. Like we're just doing the show. We're just still sitting here doing the show. Still sitting here doing the show.
Al's on his way to Florida. Oh, you want me to end it, Jason? Is that right?
Indy
All right.
Windy.
For Dirty Jobs 21, that's Dirty Jobs Mike. For Jason at BFTG Jason. For myself, as you noticed, I changed my name to Part-Time George. You can follow me on Twitter at BFTG Pod. We are working on a very special show next week, so please tune in again next Friday. We'll be a little bit more organized, I promise. This was basically us hanging out tonight. We appreciate everybody who joined us. And until next week, we will see you. Well, we'll see you on Sunday. See you on the Blitz. Have a good night.
See you Sunday, gents. Thank you again. Hurry up, Al. Get the frick down here.
It's warm down here, Al.